Founded in 1957, the Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter and has been serving bettors for over 6 decades. Whether you are a lifelong subscriber, used to buy it at the newsstand, or perhaps have never seen the Gold Sheet, we want to share this amazing March Madness offer with you. Get 5 weeks of access to both the college basketball and NBA Gold Sheet newsletter for only $29. This will give you daily access to both the complete NBA and college basketball reports, which includes power ratings, strength of schedule, average line, against the spread records, and more. Get all of this for under $1 a day. It's not your dad's newsletter where games were written a week in advance, but rather up-to-date stats, scores, injuries, and all of the information to make you a March Madness expert. Head to goldsheet.com and get your March Madness on for only $29.
All right, guys, welcome in, and a very happy Wednesday to you now. 2 days into the month of madness. It is March 2nd, and still got a number of things to be decided here in the regular season of college hoops. 62 games on tap, actually 61. We just had one finish in overtime. Plenty of options on the board here tonight. And we've got the A-team on tap on this Wednesday for you to sort through it all as three of the most profitable guys in college hoops this season. Red hot Drew Martin, red hot Adam Trigger, and over from sportsmemo.com, the mid-major god, having a great time here so far. Mid-major Matt Joseph's joining us here today. So, Drew, I'll start with you here, man. We've got another weekend in the regular season with a lot of these power conferences. We do have some tournaments underway right now. What do you got going over at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, Joe, always good being on with you, man. Thanks for having me. And I got a best bet for tonight, actually in bounce back mode after a terrible loss last night, Joe, by one possession. Felt like we had it in the bag, but hey, every sports bettor knows that feeling, so I feel like I'm due tonight. It's been a great season so far, and got the one up at WagerTalk.com, and I bet 2 plays tonight, and the other one is the best bet for the show, so can't wait to get to it, bud.
All right, exciting stuff here, and I know red hot Adam Trigger, man, what a hell of a run you're on, my man, and my goodness, I'm worried because Georgetown is playing tonight, but we'll get to that. But in the meantime, my man, you've been crushing it over at WagerTalk.com and college hoops. What's going on there, man?
I mean, I've been waiting all season for this run, Joe, so it's about time. That's the way I look at it. Kelly just tweeted at me that Patrick Ewing gets to keep his job. I know she's trolling me because I bet Georgetown a few times in a row. I actually can't stand that team. I just got pot committed with them. I got my win. And I got out. So I don't know why people keep talking about Georgetown to me. I'm done with them. Maybe for now. They might be back. But yeah, it's it's good. 7-1 run. I've been real selective. And I'll just say go take advantage of the special Wager Talk has up. It gets you everything through the end of March Madness for a ridiculously low rate. I post stuff later during conference tournaments because I think we all do. With the lines, they come out a little later, takes a little longer for the market to develop. So, great time to take advantage of that special. And I plan to have plays up tonight. I just haven't locked anything in yet.
All right. Plenty of games going on here tonight. Mid-major Matt Joseph's over at sportsmemo.com. I know you're ready to go. Your conferences are teeing it up here, my man. What do you got tonight for us at sportsmemo.com?
Well, let me just say, unlike Trig and his Georgetown obsession, I'm obsessed with winners. And Toledo, once again, going crazy last night. The Toledo team total overs are one of the most profitable things in college basketball right now. So I am hoping and praying they win the MAC so I can keep betting them because this Rockets team is amazing. Just got a couple of plays over at a couple of team totals. One of them I'm going to give out in the show. And then also, don't forget to check out on our YouTube channels. I'm doing some little conference tournament previews, giving you some ideas on the 1 seeds, the 2 seeds, and potentially a sneaky sleeper to win each conference. And you can find them on our YouTube channels.
All right, good stuff there. And don't forget, I think Vermont's team's totals have something to say about Red Hot also. So let us dive into game number 1 here tonight, guys. And we're going to go where else? To literally one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the country, Bud Walton Arena, as the Arkansas, the Hogs here laying 5.5 against LSU with a total of 141 opening. That has creeped up now, 142, 142 and a half. And we witnessed this last time, but I believe LSU was short a pretty important piece in that first go-around against Arkansas. Drew, what do you think we're going to get tonight at Arkansas?
Sure, Joe. You bring that up. January 15th, Arkansas did beat LSU on the road, but like you pointed towards, they were without Pinson. And also interesting note there, one of their other best players, Days, he got into early foul trouble, so they were really down. And this is an LSU team, guys. You look at the Bayou Bengals here, 9 losses already, but really, they've been banged up for a large portion of this season. So if you're really looking to kind of get a plus price team here going down the stretch of the season in the SEC tournament, hey, even make a run in the NCAA tournament, LSU might not be a bad team to circle on. They are fully healthy right now. And getting plus prices like tonight in Bud Walton Arena, like you talked about. Ooh, Pig Suey. Man, hotter than mid-major Matt's Mike there. And maybe even hotter than the Toledo team total, because Arkansas has, won 12, or they're 12-1-1 ATS their last 14, 13-1 straight up. Money-making machines here. That's the Razorbacks. Number 1 defense in the SEC efficiency-wise. But the thing here, because I don't want to step in front of LSU from a side perspective, because I think they're underrated, and I don't want to step in front of that huge money-making trend with Arkansas laying the points at home. Oh, and by the way, they're 75% from the free throw line. So even though these two teams have good defenses, with LSU being healthy right now, I would look to bet it over, Joe, tonight. I agree with this market move towards the over, mainly due to there's not going to be a whole lot of wasting of time with the basketball. Both of these two teams are up-tempo teams, so I think we're actually going to get up and down the court. Yes, it will be efficient defense, but overall, I think we get up and over this, 141 and a half.
Yeah, it's creeping up there for sure, and it's a different LSU team. The only thing that scares me here, Trig, is LSU on the road. Ugh. 6 of the last 7, I think they've lost now. So, and now they're going in. Tough place to play here on the road. What do you think we get tonight?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. And of course, Arkansas is always really good in Fayetteville. I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. A couple weeks ago on our Hustle show, I gave Arkansas out to win the whole thing at 80-1. It's down to 50-1. That may be a little CLV trophy for me right there, probably. But listen, Arkansas, like Drew said, he kind of took the words out of my mouth when he said, I don't know if I want to step in front of Arkansas, the train that is the Razorbacks right now, because they just keep winning. I guess they didn't cover over the weekend, depending on what number you got. But LSU is definitely undervalued. I know LSU has struggled on the road, but I still think you're probably paying a little bit of a premium to bat Arkansas at home here. You go back to the first meeting, no Xavier Pinson. I was on Arkansas in that game, watched every second of it, and that was a terrible basketball game, really ugly game that Arkansas came out on top in. Pinson's back, which definitely gives that LSU offense more continuity. They're a much better team with him in the lineup. So I would actually look to LSU here. I think what's going to keep me off is the fact that Arkansas has just been an absolute machine, and I really do think they're an excellent team that was undervalued a couple weeks ago. They probably still are undervalued in the futures market, but the thing I can't get over here is Arkansas, their last 3 games, Tennessee, at Florida, Kentucky, all wins. At some point, they got to have a little bit of a letdown. And I just wonder if that's going to be here. So I would lean LSU plus the points. I think you're getting the right number, but I'm probably not going to get to the window with this one.
All right. It's going to be a hell of a matchup here, mid-major Matt. What do you think with this LSU squad on the road taking on Arkansas tonight?
I mean, I've been a proponent of fading LSU on the road as much as possible because I just don't think they're a good team outside their building. I don't think they're as great a team overall, and then you've got Arkansas, who really only plays their best basketball at home. But yeah, it seems like it's a bit too many points here. Like, I'm not going to say that Xavier Pinson he makes a big difference, of course, but like, he is only one guy, and LSU's offense isn't great. Like, I'm surprised because I know Drew likes to go to under sometimes. I'm surprised he doesn't like the under here necessarily because I feel like it's going to be a grind. Like, these two defenses are really good. I know they want to get up and down, but pace doesn't always mean you could have 70-something possessions and still have this go under the total. So I actually kind of lean towards the under. I don't love unders in general, but to me, unless this thing turns into a foul fest at the end, I feel like it's going to be a grind and first 1 to 70 type of game, and whoever gets there wins.
Yep. Yeah, it could very well be a grind here tonight. We'll see if LSU can get a little revenge on the road, get a W. Should be a good matchup here, guys, in the SEC. We will move on. Game number 2 that we're going to take a look at is going to be in the Big East as UConn taking on Creighton in this one. And UConn opened up as a 5-point road favorite against Creighton, 134.5. as that opening total here. And Trig, I'll come to you with this Creighton team at home tonight. What do you think? Home dog? Are you sniffing around here?
No, Joe, the mind-blowing thing of today to me is the quote-unquote sharp money on Creighton. I just don't get that at all. It doesn't make it. That makes no sense to me. Like, of all the games today that they're going to start kind of driving the price down in this one, I mean, the only reason I could see that would be to maybe come over the top with UConn later, because Creighton is, without Ryan Nembhard, this team is toast, in my opinion. And you go back to the first meeting, Creighton upset UConn in a game where UConn could not hit a shot. Like, they just could not hit a water if they fell out of a boat in that game. It was horrible. I think they shot close to, like 30% for the game, maybe. It was awful. You could see the final score was just on your screen. They scored 55 points. So I have to think UConn has that in the back of their mind a little bit. The fact that that was a really embarrassing loss for UConn. I think they were a 10.5-point favorite in that game to lose like that to Creighton. And, UConn has been winning games. They haven't necessarily been covering lately, but they have been winning. So I don't know if I'll go on the road and lay points, especially with the way it's being bet. But it feels like UConn is due to just hammer someone. We were joking off air about the Georgetown UConn game from over the weekend. They had, I think they were up 21 points, and they let Georgetown go nuts in the final 2 minutes. They ended up winning by 9. So that if this number would probably be higher had UConn not gone to sleep in the last 3 minutes of that game. So number just seems short here. I think UConn is head and shoulders better than Creighton. Creighton without Nembhard is just not a team I'm looking to put my money on. So I would lean UConn. The number, I think it's short. I would say UConn, lay the points.
All right, lay them there with UConn. What do you think, mid-major Matt here? The Huskies on the road, or you've always said this isn't your dad's Creighton team anymore here. What do you think we get tonight?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. The last 2 home games have been vintage Creighton first half overs because they've shot really well at home. But the Nembhard thing just kind of puts a damper on all of that. But the funny thing is, you go back to that Connecticut game at the XL Center, and Nembhard only had 6 points and 1 assist, and he had 4 turnovers. He didn't play that well in that game. And then the other thing that kind of sticks out is Kalkbrenner only played 22 minutes and didn't have a single foul. Like, we know how superior UConn is inside in this game, but as long as Kalkbrenner plays, I think he gives a chance to Creighton in this game. And, second straight road game. Now, the thing for UConn is there's no look ahead. They got DePaul at home in their last game. So, there's not a look ahead. They'll be pretty focused here. I would have thought UConn would be the play here because of the revenge angle, but clearly the Sharps like the home team. We know how good Creighton is at home. They have had a couple games now to kind of figure things out without Nembhard. I don't really have a strong lean in this game, but I think this is another one that could be a little bit lower scoring, especially if UConn's defense shows up against Creighton.
All right, good stuff there. What do you think here, Drew? We got it's a bit perplexing, some of that money coming in here on Creighton. What do you think? Is it the Huskies for you?
Yeah, interesting handicap, Joe. And to tell you the truth, I think Trig nailed it sidewise. I agree with UConn. I'm kind of scratching my head at why people are betting against them, especially with the injury. Guys, if you're not familiar with it, Creighton's point guard, arguably the best freshman in the Big East. He's out. Just last game was the first full game where he was out. And sure enough, we saw a possession drop. They were averaging 73 possessions the 5 games prior and only 65 possessions last time out. Of course, it has to do with the opposition's tempo as well, but still, that's a pretty big drop off in terms of average possession length when you're holding on to the basketball. So that's one thing I like to bet here. And it points me to my best bet for the show here, Joe. I really like this total to the under. We get a pretty large total at 135.5. We get the slower possessions, the less possessions likely in this game. And UConn's a really good defense. So overall, I don't think we get enough possessions and enough high scoring to get up into the high 130s here. So I like Creighton and UConn to the under.
All right, Creighton and UConn to the under here tonight, guys. Another big game there in the Big East. We got one more we're going to take a look at here. And an interesting one with Davidson. Man, this team can shoot. They're an awful lot of fun here to watch as they're going to lay 7 at home, taking on George Mason, the Patriots. Good Lord, mid-major. Matt, what happened to George Mason here? A total of 137. Davidson, man, it's tough to go against them. Are you willing to lay the 7 here?
So Mason's a fascinating case because 12 of their 14 A10 games have been decided in single digits. I mean, if you take a couple shots here and there and change them, this George Mason team is playing for, potentially a tournament bid or at least being in the top 4 of this conference. It didn't help them that Josh Adoro got hurt, and then there's some games where Josh Adoro got in foul trouble, and then there was a couple of OTs that didn't go their way. The Richmond game, they gave up a shot late and lost. The St. Louis game, they lost in 2 OTs, and that actually should have gone to a third OT because there was basket interference. The thing that scares me here about George Mason is you've got Kim English, who's been a great coach this year, first time going up against Davidson and a Bob McKillop offense that kind of dissects what you do poorly and then kind of over and over and over does the same thing until you adjust, and then he makes his own adjustment. So I feel like the coaching advantage here goes to the home team. The playing close games thing, Davidson's played with fire throughout the season as well. They've had a ton of games where they have kind of, as I like to refer to it, as played with their food, where they're like, okay, we know we're going to beat you, but the game's a little bit closer than it should be. Look at some of the Fordham games that they've played this year. So I kind of think George Mason has a shot to keep this thing close. I am a bit worried about the coaching disadvantage here. I also think there's a chance this thing inches over. I think Davidson's offense is so efficient at times, and if George Mason could get some of those threes from Schwartz and some of these other guys, I think it could sneak over the total here. So definitely something to look for here. And if Kim English can keep up with Bob McKillop, maybe as an underdog, they make things interesting.
Yeah, it's, they certainly rely on the 3, George Mason, but it hasn't worked on all that well for him. I don't know that they can outshoot Davidson here, Drew. That's the problem. So what do you think we're going to get here in this matchup tonight?
Yeah, Joe, I agree with you. I mean, especially them on the road, just 4-10 on the road, speaking towards George Mason here. And Davidson, 12-1 at home at the top of the conference here. I'm not looking to step in front of Davidson. I think they're the better team, 24-4 on the season. I think they likely get a bid into the NCAA tournament, 76% from the free throw line as well in this range. Having to lay a touchdown at home. You want a team that can hit their free throws. Davidson does. So not a game that I bet, Joe, but if you made me, it would be the home favorite. Yeah,
I mean, George Mason allows 3-point attempts at a ridiculous clip here, Trig. And they've got 3 guys on the Wildcats hitting 42% on the season. So it doesn't bode well for this George Mason squad, but 7 points is 7 points. You willing to take it?
Oh yeah, I definitely am. This is a game I'm looking at for today. It'll be the best bet for me on the show. One of those guys is Foster Lawyer, who's been out since February 14th. I doubt he plays tonight. I haven't seen anything about him playing tonight. And Davidson's been winning without him, but I think that's got to catch up with them, at least against the number at some point. I don't know that Davidson can continue to win and cover without their leading scorer, who averages 16.5 points per game. No argument with what Matt said. Of course, Bob McKillop is a superior coach to Kim English, but I absolutely love Kim English and what he's done at George Mason so far. His first-year coach, I think he's really done everything in his power to try to sort of re-energize the fan base down there. And another great point that Matt made, I've really watched this team closely all year. George Mason has lost some really tough heartbreakers. They could be a lot better than they are win-loss wise. So I actually don't think Davidson is 7 points better than this George Mason team. Of course, Davidson's been awesome at home, and George Mason has played their better ball at home. So that's something to kind of consider. But much like our Arkansas LSU discussion, I think the odds makers are making you pay a pretty decent premium to sort of back Davidson at home here. They're also making you do it without one of Davidson's best players. I like George Mason here. I think it's too many. I think they've shown the ability to hang in these games with some of the better teams in this conference. I think they can hang around tonight. Actually, wouldn't even be surprised if they won it outright. But I like George Mason to hang around and get the money against the +7.
All right, get it done there. Should be an interesting one, too, in the A-10. 61 games remain on the schedule here tonight, guys. So now it is time to figure out if all these guys, they already kind of hinted towards a few of the games that they like. So, Drew, we'll kick it off with you again. Go ahead, break it down for us one more time about this Creighton game you like tonight.
Yeah, Creighton Blue Jays. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like MLB is going to be going on time, but the Creighton Blue Jays at least can step in here with a good defense, and UConn good defense as well, both top 30 efficiency defenses. And the real story here, guys, the point guard for Creighton, arguably the best freshman in the conference, in the Big East Conference. He's out. Lower possessions last time out, averaged 73 in the 5 games prior, just 65 last game. I think that projects to tonight's game with two good defenses, lower possession game, and a pretty high total here, Joe, 135.5. I bet it under. So, that's best bet for the show. Something I bet here, UConn Creighton under 135.5 for best bet tonight.
Boom, get it done. Love it. Talk to us here, Trig. Georgetown, you said, was it plus the point? Go ahead. Which way are you going here tonight? Best bet.
Game we just talked about. I like George Mason plus the points. Kim English was one of the winningest players in the history of Missouri basketball. I think he's starting to build a winning culture in George Mason in his first year. Couldn't believe the guy's only 33 years old. That's wild to me. Feel like he should still be playing. He looks like he can still play. But anyway, Foster Lawyer out for Davidson. In my opinion, that's got to catch up with them at some point. And I think you're being forced to lay a premium to back Davidson at home. I actually think this is going to be a pretty good game in the A-10 tonight. So I will take George Mason plus the points. The Patriots get it done against the number.
All right, getting the Patriots to get it done here tonight with the 7. How about it? Talk to us, mid-major Matt. A lot of games going on in your neck of the woods. What are you looking at here tonight?
No, Toledo's not playing tonight. I'm going with a team total, though. I'm playing the over on Wake Forest, over 79.5. And really it comes down to this. NC State's dead man walking. Wake Forest has scored 80 or more 8 times this season at home. The Demon Deacons, and remember, look, the folks at the NCAA have said to us that the net ranking has a cap. It's only 10 or 15 points, and that'll give you a bunch of points. But we just saw Loyola Chicago win by 50 against Evansville, and they jumped up 8 spots. So, Wake Forest is firmly on the bubble here, whether you think they're in or they're out. They've got to have a really good performance today. It's their final game of the regular season, their final home game of the regular season, and I think they're going to show out tonight. As I said, NC State has been rather terrible this season. They just have, ever since they they lost Manny Bates, it's a team that's basically letting people have layup lines at the rim. So I'll take a chance. I think Wake Forest puts up 90, maybe 100 tonight. I'll take over 79.5 for the Demon Deacons. I think they have to play really well tonight to give the committee something else to think about.
All right, good stuff there. Love it. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, I believe they too have a play of the day for us. And look at that, the Johnnies at the top of their list, taking on Xavier here in a matchup, I believe 6:30, if I'm not mistaken, at this one. The Johnnies taking on Xavier. Great write-up here, guys. Would encourage you guys to check out all our Gold Sheet plays of the days. The write-ups are fantastic. We post them on our Twitter page at Wager Talk there on Twitter. And then, of course, if you go to thegoldsheet.com, they've got write-ups on a number of games, great handicapping tools and data available to you. Go check it out right now as March Madness approaches at thegoldsheet.com. All right, so tonight I'm going to go to a team Drew knows I know pretty well here, and I am going to look at Oklahoma State and Iowa State. They are not getting to 131 points, all right? I know they had fun. It was a good time. Oklahoma State was scoring some points. It's over. These two teams cannot be trusted offensively. I do trust Iowa State defensively, as I do Oklahoma State on the road. There's not much else to play for here tonight for Oklahoma State. The season is coming to an end with no postseason on the horizon. So I'll take the under 131 tonight, Oklahoma State and Iowa State. And to recap one more time, let's go under with the UConn Creighton game as well, says Drew Martinaire, 135.5, while Trigg, he's going to take the touchdown. George Mason taking on Davidson. He says, give me the 7. Matt Joseph's going Wake Forest team total over 79.5. Likes Wake Forest to get on track offensively here and drop some points. I'm going to go under Oklahoma State, Iowa State in Ames, and, of course, our friends at the Gold Sheet. They like the Johnnies, laying 1.5 to get it done against Xavier. And now would be the time for you guys to get going here with the March Madness crazy is around the corner. If you head over to WagerTalk.com, you saw it right there, the March Madness special, guys. Right now you can get every one of these guys' plays, whether it be Matt Joseph's over at sportsmemo.com or Drew and Adam over at WagerTalk.com. $177. It's a great deal, guys. You get all their plays from now right through the championship. Crowning a national champion. It's coming, guys. Take advantage of it. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Hop on with Drew. Hop on with Trigg. And, of course, Matt Joseph's over at sportsmemo.com. All right, we're almost done here with the regular season. More college hoops talk again tomorrow. So make sure you hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. You'll get notified when we go live. Certainly hope you'll hit the subscribe button as well. And on behalf of Drew, Adam, and mid-major Matt Josephs, guys, we appreciate the time. Best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Between now and Selection Sunday on March 13th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and Wager Talk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special, which includes the rest of college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. Sign up for this promotion now at your favorite handicapper's homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship on Monday, April 4th for just $177. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experience in sports. Act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time.